you got to think, like, he's late 30s probably, maybe early 40s, and he's trying to hang out with his kids and bounce, and he's out of breath, and he's sweating, and he's,
God,
you know.
You're just, stop. You're just describing me right now. God. You know, he's like an idiot. He waited till he was 40 to have a child. And now he's out of breath. What a piece of... And welcome to a brand new episode of the Confused Breakfast Podcast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the video rental store as a kid?
I do, Michael.
In there.
The excitement of walking down the aisles, browsing the names and the artwork, and finally picking out the movie you're going to take home with you.
Done that.
Sure, it's hard to beat the ease of the modern era and streaming platforms where you don't even have to leave your couch. But there was something truly special about making that trip with your dad because he didn't care if you rented R-rated movies when he had custody of you. Anything to piss mom off, basically.
Yes.
On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of our favorite childhood movies from that magical era to see if they still move us the way they did as kids. I'm your host, Mike Schulte. Joining me, as always, two dudes who look like a lady. Shaun, Brian, AJ Vance, how the heck are ya?
I'll take that compliment.
I wish
all
I
day.
did. Yeah.
All day, baby.
Grow my hair out again.
Yeah.
Trying to get my locks going again.
Flow.
Yeah. Get
Sick
that flow.
baby. Sick flow.
Hey, there's wigs.
Always just trying to be in touch with my feminine side. Yeah, that's what
right.
they call that.
Yeah.
Well, boys, on today's episode, we discuss a movie that won an Oscar, not for acting,
No.
but for, you guessed it, makeup.
McCup.
The second highest grossing movie of 1993, our second Robin Williams movie. Major apologies for not remembering Hook, because we were like, I think this is our first Robin Williams movie. We just did Hook, a movie about the perils of divorce and how to break the law to get what you want. We are, of course, talking about 1993's Mrs. Doubtfire.
Well, dang it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another nostalgic journey to the past with The Confused Breakfast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Wherever you are in the world. Take it away, boys.
Well, if you are new to this podcast, we will be reviewing this movie with a modern eye. But in order to do that properly, we must first discuss it with pure and utter nostalgia. AJ, let's start with you. Tell us the first time you saw this movie, what you remember about it, and what the nostalgic rating is.
This is definitely one that I can say was exactly what we're here to do. Video rental and seeing that cover of Robin Williams on there. And I think it's got the kids, Robin Williams is at the top as Mrs. Doubtfire and then the kids. And I remember seeing it and I remember thinking, like, I don't want to watch this movie. I don't want to watch this movie.
Spooky?
Something like that. No.
Okay.
No, I thought it was like an old lady, literally didn't know it was Robin Williams. Had no idea. And then I saw kids. I'm like, okay, great. It's just like some family PG G-rated movie that
I didn't know Julia
mom
Child
wants to,
was in a movie.
Yeah. Like that mom wanted to rent. You know?
Thought it was Uncle Buck because it's basically the same cover.
It is.
It's like, hello, let me in.
Here I am creeping into your house.
Oh, no.
I don't belong here.
The weird family member's back.
Fish out of water into a family-sized bowl. That was what it was, though. So, like, and then finally watching it, I would say, like, I just liked the Aerosmith song, and I was like, okay, cool, it's got rock and roll. So
I like music.
So I don't know, guys. I wasn't hyped the first time I watched this. I'm gonna give it a 6.2.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Hey, Shaun.
That's me. Yeah, same as AJ. VHS. I don't know if we ripped this off a TV or not, or we just bought it, or both. Could have happened either way, or both. But yeah, I remember watching it all of the goddamn time. Me and my brother would put this on repeat along with Three Ninjas and all of those movies like The Goonies and stuff. I loved it. I rewatched it all the goddamn time. It's a 10.
What?
Wow,
Yeah.
nostalgic 10.
For me, like, you got to remember this is, so I'm 11 years old when this movie comes out. And, like, this isn't a kid's movie.
Right.
and I wasn't like, I'm not an adult, so I felt like I was in the wrong age group to watch this movie when it came out.
Yeah.
I'm watching Three Ninjas. I'm watching Blank Check. I'm watching that kind of stuff that's truly made for like a preteen kid. This is not a preteen kid movie. It's got moments, but it's like, ooh, it's a little too like, that's not funny. Other than a few parts. So for me, I think we rented it, but we never bought it. And that tells you the story. Like we didn't go, wow, we need this because we're going to watch this a million times. I'm going to call it a 5.2 for me. Executive producer David Gould made this selection. This is his choice.
Well done.
So let's see what he has to say about it. He said, looking back at the movies that wore out our family VHS player, few movies got more runtime than Mrs. Doubtfire. The crazy, chaotic energy of Robin Williams captivated me in a way that only Jim Carrey could do at the time. The physicality of his humor would send me into hysterical laughter, while the very adult premises would fly right over my head. Between flaming boobs, crazy impressions, and Aerosmith anthems, this movie was perfect for my young, impressionable brain. So my nostalgic rating would be a 9.5.
Yeah, buddy.
It's pretty much me and AJ versus David and Shaun on this. So you're getting, nostalgically, all four of us, a 7.73.
Okay.
Which is going to take you to, you know what, fairly high on the list. That's number 24. It is tied with Blues Brothers. Just better than Home Alone, just worse than The Sandlot.
Just better than Home Alone. That's funny.
That's how we feel about it as a group.
Respect.
But we're going to strip that all away because it
does actually
We're
matter.
going to talk about this with a modern eye. And to start that off, Shaun's going to hook us up with pertinent, important details of this movie. What do you got, man?
Everyone Cares, produced by Mark Radcliffe, Marsha Williams, and Robin Williams. Written by Randy Singer and Leslie Dixon. Based on the book by Anne Fine. Not good, not great, just fine.
Okay.
Cinematography by Donald McAlpine. Also did Career Opportunities, which I hope we do one day. Romeo and Juliet.
Good one or the bad one?
The one. Nicole Kidman and shit.
Romeo Must Die?
No.
Oh.
Leo.
And with Moulin Rouge.
All right.
I worked with that director a lot. I'm forgetting his name. But he also did movies that we've covered, Parenthood and Predator.
This is a very Parenthood kind of movie.
Very
almost,
much.
Right? Yeah.
I looked it up on YouTube, and it was like the suggestion to rent Mrs. Doubtfire, and then right below that was Parenthood.
Jeez.
Just a Donald McAlpine collection. Music by Howard Shore, edited by Raja Gosnell, directed by Chris Columbus.
Hey.
Cast: Robin Williams, Sally Field, Pierce Brosnan, Harvey Feinstein, Polly Holliday, Lisa Jacob, Matthew Lawrence, Mara Wilson, Robert Prosky, Anne Haney, and Martin Mull. Based off British writer Anne Fine's novel Madame Doubtfire, Anne Fine was walking the streets of her Scottish neighborhood one day and came across a shop owned by a woman named Annabella Coutts. The name of her shop was Madame Doubtfire. After the success of Home Alone, director Christopher Columbus was a hot commodity. Being offered the script for Mrs. Doubtfire, Chris Columbus had a big champion for his career in Steven Spielberg. Columbus would write several scripts for Spielberg, and the two would support each other through their careers. As I think we've talked about before, Chris Columbus wrote the screenplay for Goonies, which Steven Spielberg optioned and had Zemeckis? I think Zemeckis directed Goonies, direct that. And then he also wrote Gremlins for Joe Dante. Author Anne Fine originally envisioned Warren Beatty in the role of Mrs. Doubtfire, saying it would be a great contrast of his real-life womanizing antics. But that didn't
That's what we want.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, I just want it to be great.
Yeah.
Just like that. Oh, yeah.
Tim Allen was also in talks to play the role, but then fell through. I could see that.
Well, did you hear a little deeper on Tim Allen in this? Apparently, they wanted it to be like a film version of Home Improvement, where it was going to actually be the same Tim Allen, Patricia Richardson, the kids, where then they get divorced.
Huh.
It's like the continuation of the TV show, but apparently everybody was like, this is stupid. Like, no. Leave the TV show where it is.
They wanted to like horseshoe that.
I was just
plot
going to
into
say,
it.
it's like, hey, Shoe, meet Horn.
Yeah.
And there you go. That we've got Tim Allen.
I guess Tim Allen and Patricia Richardson were like, no, That's stupid.
This is ridiculous.
No, we're just gonna keep doing our thing because we're making a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Also, we got Brad.
Yeah. We got Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Well,
I don't know if
Zachary Ty blah blah.
Well, him too.
He's my guy.
And then Mark, nobody cares.
Let's put him in a goth phase.
Then people will care.
Ooh, edgy. Robin Williams was very involved and committed to the film. On top of the nearly 5 hours of makeup application, Williams was obviously a sweetheart on set toward his fellow cast members and crew. In fact, when the kids came in to audition for their roles, Williams would be in full makeup, and the actors had no idea it was him.
Oh my!
Their genuine reactions to the character are what got them the parts. So, like, yeah, when creating this makeup, it took like a while. To create like the perfect look. A lot of it looked like scary, kind of, and then they came up with the hair, and then the glasses was like the actual like finishing touch for it. And so yeah, when auditioning the kids, he would be in full makeup and like even go out and like to fast food restaurants or something like that as Mrs. Doubtfire. No one had any clue. This is why this movie won Best Makeup, because it's why it won Best Makeup is because the makeup is great, but the performer underneath the makeup has to be great as well. And when you have Robin Williams, like that voice is unrecognizable when he becomes Mrs. Doubtfire. You can't see Robin Williams in it at all.
It's just a masterclass of what he's doing.
Mrs. Doubtfire was released on November 24th, 1993, and on a budget of $25 million, the film made $441 million at the box office.
I guess that's all right.
It was going to have a sequel, but no one wanted it.
Thank you.
Yes.
I love when people they're like, no, it was fine the way it is. We are done.
We don't need this. Let us just have this moment, and that's all we need to have.
Somebody said that the best idea they came up with was that the oldest daughter was going to college, and he wanted to be Mrs. Doubtfire, and live next door to her to keep an eye on her.
But then at that point,
a fucking terrible
because
premise.
he's on TV as Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes.
Yeah.
People would know.
And she knows.
Yeah.
She's like,
we wrapped this all up with a wonderful little explanation of sometimes these things happen and they don't work out. Now we're going to college.
Yeah.
What the fuck is the matter with you,
Doubtfire
man?
abroad.
In
Mrs.
New
Doubtfire
York.
goes home.
European vacation.
Lost in New York.
New York.
Mrs. Doubtfire at Mega Mountain.
Showdown. Hulk Hogan.
Well, this podcast needs...
Sorry, Mrs. Doubtfire Beyond Thunderdome.
Beyond the...
Mrs. Doubtfire goes back in time to the Wild West.
Meets Tim Curry. Come on, let's get it. How about we get
Mrs.
that?
Doubtfire goes and fights a Russian in Russia.
In Russia.
Rocky 4. Mrs. Doubtfire 4.
She's down on her luck, but she's clawing her way back to the top.
Call us. We're available.
Cut me, Mick.
We got idea. Cut me.
Well, listen, you know that this podcast needs your help. We're just three dudes trying to put out weekly content for you guys to listen to. It's a crazy world out there. There are 10 million active podcasts for you to choose from. So in order to keep this podcast free and growing, we have two missions for you. They change from episode to episode. Your mission today, number 1, you go out, you give us a 5-star rating.
Just do
the
it.
trolls are back, you guys. They're back.
They're back.
And they're back. And so we just need to get a little boost in the 5 stars, just to keep it, just to make that random listener go, seems like a real nice podcast.
Podcast.
So
Quit laughing. We laugh too much.
Yeah, go out and give us a review, 5 stars. Also, number 2, check us out at patreon.com/confusedbreakfast. That is the best way to support this podcast. You get weekly bonus audio. Weekly. There's 100 episodes now of stuff you can listen to. I'm sure after this, we're going to have a deep discussion on some Robin Williams movies.
100%.
Next week, we're going to tell you about all about Bush Kreischer's behind the scenes. So join that, patreon.com/confusedbreakfast. Tons of great stuff there. Up next, AJ does the research for us, gives us the ratings and reviews of critics and fans alike. What do you got, man?
Guys, are you stoked?
Super stoked.
For the tomato meter.
Gross.
70% on the tomato meter.
70%?
And also not certified fresh.
So 71 is certified fresh?
No, I've seen 60s that are certified fresh.
Okay.
I don't understand the certified fresh stamp of approval anymore, guys. I have lost it.
Believe it or not,
70%.
of 100 plus movie we
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
here, hold on. Cedar
There we
Ridge.
go.
Let's just do this real quick.
A little liquid courage there.
Okay. And cut, scene, and go. Of all the movies we've done, guys, not one single movie has had a 70%. Like, we're starting to get to that point where they're tying with things.
Yeah.
So this is number 51 of all movies we've done, right below The Santa Claus, right above The Wedding Singer. That is where this movie falls critically.
That fits.
That works. A few different comedic geniuses in there. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
77% was where the audience came in at, and it was a 7.1 on IMDb.
So, good movie. Like, this is a good movie.
Insanely good.
Well, here's what it's tied with of all the movies we've done. The Mummy,
Great.
Spaceballs,
Amazing.
Coming to America,
Yeah.
Tommy Boy,
Love it.
Fast Times.
Yeah,
Makes
those are
perfect
all
sense.
great
That is
movies.
that is
As
the
you
same
can
thing.
see.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, it's a foolproof theory that we have. How about we'll do a 20 out of 100, 2 out of 10. Film threat. Brad Laidman said Mrs. Doubtfire is overlong, barely funny, and a surprisingly bitter movie, especially for a film aimed at children. There's some logic there.
His parents were divorced, and he didn't take it well.
He didn't like having to relive it at this point, unfortunately. So, entertainment, Owen Gleiberman, 75 out of 100. Williams gives an inspired comic performance. Unfortunately, he outclasses the movie, which is basically a patchwork ripoff of Tootsie.
I've never seen Tootsie.
Dustin Hoffman.
Get your Tootsies in a row. I don't know what I'm saying. Guys, 1 out of 10. Probably the worst film I've ever seen. When I wrote probably the worst film I've ever seen, I lied. The film was so bad.
Wait. False advertisement.
Yeah, I know.
You said probably.
Here it goes. The film was so bad that I walked out of the cinema before the film finished.
The cinema.
It wasn't funny, had no story, and the vision of Robin Williams in a dress plus full makeup made me feel physically sick.
Ugh.
But why'd you write a review? Because you said, but I didn't watch it. But it doesn't have any story or vision or anything.
I hated the ending
That I
because I
didn't
walked
see.
out. Yeah,
'Cause I didn't
walked
see
out of
it.
Terrible ending.
Don't write a review if you haven't finished a movie.
Right.
Time out. Have either of you guys walked out of a theater?
No, never.
I don't think I have.
Why would you?
You committed that time. You committed that money.
Yeah.
What the fuck else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave.
Watch it and see if you like it. Like maybe there will be a scene you're like, wow, that was cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to go next door to the coffee shop and drink my own pee and write a review. That's what I'm going to do instead. That's a better use of my time.
What can I get you?
Here
I'll
I
have a cup
come,
of my own
IMDb.
pee.
I brought it with me. Just warm it up,
Will
please.
you warm that up in the microwave?
I have to write an IMDb review. The world has been waiting.
Oh, here's your chair, sir.
I'll be out front sitting on the sidewalk.
I'm homeless.
Oh, it all comes together now.
Homeless and parentless.
Well,
It went too far.
Too far, man.
well, I'm not even going to do that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Feels good.
Ridiculous and unfunny. This sentimental nonsense isn't realistic. Its attempts at humor are pathetically lame. The plot is pretentious or preposterous. A divorced father pretends to be a woman in order to be employed as a housekeeper in the house of his ex-wife and their children, as if none of them would notice that it's him.
Let it go.
Suspend your disbelief. Like, isn't that what we say all the time?
That should be on our shirt.
I think so.
Suspend your disbelief.
Yeah.
For fucking once.
Aggressive. All right, last
There's
one.
no way she could walk up the streets of San Francisco, how steep they are, in those heels, having never walked in those before.
Not even possible.
I don't like this movie.
Yeah. 0
love
out of 10, 0 out of 100, 0 out of 1,000.
There you go. Last one, 6 out of 10. This is definitely not a family movie. This was written in 2021. Imagine you're in the face of divorce and you have a daydream to save your marriage. Yes, this movie is for people like that. It's kind of depressed. It's kind of depressed for a children and family to watch. Don't like that. So, cool.
All right.
What just happened?
Mike just got an idea.
Did it just light up really bright?
I think so.
Is it in your pocket?
It might be. I don't know. It's
Check
probably my
out-
fault.
Check out our studio. We got a neon sign now. If you're watching on the YouTubes,
When the sun goes down.
and it just got really bright all of a sudden.
Neon moon. Bam.
Okay.
Look at
Anyway,
you.
Look at that shit.
Anyways, guys, yeah, too depressing. He gave it a 6 out of 10. He's like, this is not a family movie. Maybe we'll agree with him later on.
maybe we will.
Maybe we will.
Before we dissect this movie scene by scene with the
That's
modern
me.
eye, we got to thank our sponsor, Cedar Ridge Whiskey. We've been talking about them for like 18 years now, I think. 18 of our 19 years of doing this podcast. Best whiskey ever made. They are in our backyard in Swisher, Iowa. You have to try their products. Our favorite generally being the quintessential American single malt. If you like Scotch, this is better than Scotch. The flagship bourbon is perfect for putting it on ice, making some old fashions with it, messing around. The other day I put their rye in some red wine.
Ooh. Look
Yes.
at you.
And it was delicious.
Yes.
Their rye is fantastic. Their bourbon's fantastic. They've got brandies. They've got the collaboration with Slipknot.
Fuck yeah, dude. Pulse of the maggots.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have to go to cedarridgewhiskey.com. You can order some straight to your door, most likely, or you can check out like with your local distributors. They're spreading like crazy across the U.S. Go ask for some Cedar Ridge whiskey. Get any products they have. They're all amazing. We love them. And coming soon, perhaps a confused breakfast barrel selection.
What?
Might
We're
be
just saying.
Might be a yellow label on a bottle coming around
It
sometime.
might be. Go to cedarridgewhiskey.com. Drink responsibly. Check them out, please.
CedarRidgeWhiskey.com.
CedarRidgeWhiskey.com.
Well, boys, what do you say we sink the sub, hide the weasel, park the porpoise, a bit of the old Humpty Dumpty, Little Jack Horny, the horizontal mambo, the bone dancer, rumple foreskin, baloney bop, a bit of cunning linguistics.
I want to do all of that. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I being a little graphic? Well, maybe you shouldn't have let your kids listen to this episode.
Oh.
Like you shouldn't have taken them to this movie. That is my stance. We'll talk about it later. Here we go. Daniel Hilliard is a voice actor living in San Francisco, California. One day he quits his job at an animation studio and then returns home to throw a wild birthday party for his son, Chris. His wife, Miranda, is furious with Daniel for having planned and thrown the party behind her back. They have an argument and Miranda says she wants a divorce. The judge grants Miranda sole custody of the children but says that he will reconsider in 3 months pending Daniel's job and living status.
So you cast Robin Williams as a dad whose job it is as a animated character for shows.
He's a voice actor.
Voice actor.
For these classic cartoons.
Why does that make so much sense?
I forgot how good he was at
Aladdin.
impersonations.
Aladdin, that's why it makes so much sense.
What year was Aladdin?
I don't know, to be honest.
Was that after this?
I think that was like 95.
95?
I mean, I'll double check it, but yeah.
I don't know why that doesn't register in my brain of him being so good at impersonations.
Yeah.
It's like he throughout this whole thing, you start the movie off with it. Like I thought,
I was
I didn't even.
92 was Aladdin.
Okay, so it was
sorry.
right before
right
this.
before this.
It was like right away he's even singing that song, and I'm like, that's not him. That's him. He's singing that. Oh wow.
Figaro, 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 Figaro.
He's so big on like even in these moments, you know. And I forget that you've got like this badass dream job and then you just walked out of it. I don't know if I'm supposed to be on your side at this point. I'm going to be real with you guys.
It'll come up, I think, but Maybe he's not the most responsible parent
Well,
at all.
how long has he been doing this job?
And, it's perfect that he played. It's perfect that he played Peter Pan too, because it's like the complete contrast. Like he was all business and no family,
Right.
and then he became
Peter
no
Pan.
business and just fantasy. He's living like Peter Pan right now. Like it's just a fantasy and doesn't seem to want any responsibilities.
So did Peter Banning come back, and he came back from life, and now he is acting more like a kid.
It's the curse.
After this.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, turns out I am Peter Pan, and I'm just going to do kid things. And he's like, I want to be a voice actor.
I'm going to do voices.
There we go. That's cool.
And I'm going to take a moral stand about cigarettes, smoking, and cartoons.
Let me
Cigarette-
ask the technicians. They're all chain
all
smoking like
chain
3
smoking.
cigarettes. each.
Isn't that like, it's so weird to look back on them smoking in there like normal.
I know.
Yeah.
Like it was weird. Oh, it's kind of weird that we're showing kids smoking, but us all smoking here is totally normal.
Correct.
That's just so strange to me.
Well, even later, they like smoking or non-smoking. You fucking remember that shit? Yeah,
What?
in restaurants.
Oh God, yeah,
Yeah.
smoking
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
sections.
Yeah.
Do you want smoking or non-smoking? It's like, I don't. Are you serious? There's an option for this? That's awful.
That was normal.
Yeah. It might still be a thing in some places. I don't
Nah,
know.
I think we've.
You think as a country with
Casinos?
casinos,
Yeah.
they've got a smoking section. Yeah.
No, don't worry. We make a lot of money for the government.
Right.
We can do what we want.
Right.
So you bring the San Francisco Zoo to your house. Why not just go to the San Francisco Zoo instead of bringing animals who shit and piss and have to eat weird shit in order to survive constantly? Like
Yeah.
that's all these particular animals do, like goats and
Yeah.
like donkeys and stuff.
These are the weird petting zoo
Yeah.
animals. Yeah.
Shaun, you know that having animals of a zoo or that ain't legal either.
That ain't like-
That ain't legal.
fucking
Cop
park ranger
basically
now.
said that. The cop's like, and you know that you can't really have zoo animals of nature of. Yeah, that ain't legal.
That ain't legal.
He's like, she's completely right in this, right? Like, you don't notice as a kid that the underlying tones of this, like what's the son's name?
Matthew Lawrence.
Well, what's his name in the
yeah,
movie? Whatever.
Chris.
Chris.
It's
Sport.
sport.
Hey,
Hey,
sport.
sport.
Chris is not supposed to have a party because of his grades. Like he's essentially grounded.
Oh.
He even one of the kids says that, like, oh, you're not supposed to throw a party because because of his report card or whatever. So like this dude quits his job, gets the cops called on his house, ruins the house, has barnyard animals in the house, and throws a party despite her not wanting him to throw a party because they're trying to discipline their son. As a child, you're like, why is she noshing on my gig, man?
Yeah.
But now as an adult, you're like, dude, he sucks at being a parent.
You have to. You got to literally think. You quit your job, and in a matter of what, hours, 2 hours, 3 hours.
She doesn't even know he quit the job yet.
Yeah. And
Spend how much money on this fucking party?
is he making good money at this voice acting thing, or is she like the total breadwinner? Do you think?
I think it's her.
Oh yeah.
Because we find out that he doesn't hold jobs very long. How long has he been doing the voice acting thing?
Might have been his first day.
You never know. Like that's the one thing. It's like, oh, you need to be able to hold down a job. You need to be able to like have a place that's like suitable for living. All this stuff. How long has he actually held a job, or is he just being fun dad? You know what I mean?
He's just like, hey kids, let's listen to House of Pain.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Pack
want
it
to?
out. Pack it in.
Pack
Let
it
me
in
begin.
again.
Okay.
He's trashing the house, man.
If you walked in and this was going on, how would you feel?
Irate.
Yeah.
And then when he meets up with his kids, I think it's Lydia. Is like asks him, is like, you get fired again? Like again?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no
See?
inkling of it. She just is like, oh, you're here now, so that means you're not at work.
Yeah.
It means you got fired again.
Again. That's a
Again.
problem.
No, I quit this time.
Big.
This time.
And I'm going to make up for it by just completely trying to one-up your mom and go against her wishes right now. Let's go do that.
It's kind of tough to stomach.
It is.
Just like that soccer cake looks like it is.
Yeah.
What's that grass like frosting on there? It always freaked me out as a kid. Like what? Like it only looks like donkey food. It doesn't look like a real cake.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
It was the 90s.
Yeah, that's true. That's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
You could get
Food
away
wasn't
with that.
food in the 90s.
You could put grass on a cake back then.
Yeah, absolutely. It's completely fine.
I had a giant crush on Lisa Jacob.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember other movies
Talk
she's
about
in?
it, bro.
Do you remember
Nice,
other
dude.
movies? We were like
Yes.
basically the same age.
Independence Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's Randy Quaid's daughter in Independence Day, but more importantly, a little deep cut. I know Shaun knows. Matinee.
Oh fuck
She's
yeah.
in Matinee.
Duh.
She's the girl that goes in the bunker with the kid.
Yes.
And like these were all within 3 years of each other, and I saw all these movies. Like, gosh, you think she'd like me?
I bet if we met, we'd really hit it off.
you think she likes soccer?
Do you think?
You think she'd like my train collection?
Wasn't it a train back then? Okay.
Do you think you'd like the trains? We could do trains, right?
Do you think it's also possible to have a divorce parents arguing scene in the 90s without kids on the stairs listening?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I don't think that's possible.
No. It's
Especially with the
important.
head between going, oh no, are mom and dad going to get divorced?
Yeah.
What's divorce need?
Cue melodramatic piano, whatever, and mom and dad are fighting again.
This is worse than last time.
Last how do you guys like Mara Wilson? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Natalie.
Yeah.
Natalie. Is
'Cause
she?
Is this probably one of her first roles, I'm guessing?
I think this was her first role. I think
think
it was like an
yeah.
introducing.
Mara Wilson. Can you the
Punchable face?
Ramsey? No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
From Bella Ramsey from The Last of Us much, right?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Serious vibes.
Almost just like her, yeah.
Serious vibes. Yeah.
Well, and to take it a little deeper too, like to let's build the case against Daniel here. Like we've already been doing this, right?
Gladly.
Well, he even says like when she's talking about wanting to get a divorce, he says no, we'll take a vacation because you're different when you're on vacation. Like
Oh yeah, problems go away.
it's you are the one that's causing the problems here. So if we go on vacation, you'll get away from your job and then you'll go back to normal.
Yeah.
And we'll be good.
Right.
It's like, whoa, dude.
Look, man, you gotta fight that corporate life, Miranda.
Yeah, you used to be so against those corporate schlubs.
Yeah.
Remember when we were artists? It's San Francisco. Remember when we were showing our genitalia fucking 10 years ago to random people?
Remember we posed nude. It's like they filmed us having sex. It's like that's not okay. It's like,
Let's get back to that. Can we just get back to that? Cunnilingus. Do more of it.
yeah.
Can we just get back to it? Cunning linguistics.
Yeah, there you go. But their fight seems like real and actually like brutal.
Yeah.
I know my parents are divorced. I didn't really hear them like argue like this or anything, but I remember being like a little scared when that would happen, just like arguments like this. It is like traumatizing to a kid, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I turned out all right, kind of. Lots of therapy.
We
It's
made
fine.
it.
It's fine. But like it is. That's brutal. That's brutal for like a kid to witness, even if like even if they're told to like go upstairs, because we're gonna argue now.
Yeah.
Walls
Walls are thin. All right. San Francisco houses, they're
Ooh, man.
But as yeah, it's infrastructure.
Yeah.
As we'll get into it, I really do think that this is a good representation of how, not how a divorce should be handled, but like it tells a good, convincing story of how like amicable it could be. You know what I mean? Because it's an issue, and I think it handles it pretty well. Other than the whole going behind the back as a completely different person thing.
I think in the 90s too, it certainly wasn't in culture like it was today.
Right.
So it started to kind of approach those issues like what you're talking about. In the 80s, I think that was even still, you don't get divorced.
No.
You just suck it up for the kids.
The Bible.
Yeah, you just go till you turn back to that book.
Yep.
What
That's
would
right.
Jesus do?
Yeah.
Right?
You're right. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know at this time. I probably wouldn't have known many people that were divorced.
Yeah, and it wasn't talked about a lot, at least.
It definitely was not in storylines.
Right.
Of like, yeah, we're getting divorced.
Yeah.
I don't. Sorry, one quick thing. I don't like Robin Williams' hair in this at all. It's pretty. What's happening with it?
It's the 90s.
It looks like there's like a gerbil on top of his head trying to get out of there.
Trying to make him look like homely, lowly old Daniel. Can't catch a break.
Lowly and homeless.
Yeah, he. It's the way he dresses. It's like it's very young. You know, he's disheveled. It's like he's been wearing that hat all day and bouncing up and down. So he's you got to think like he's late 30s probably, maybe early 40s, and he's trying to hang out with his kids and bounce, and he's out of breath and he's sweating and he's got, you know.
You're just stop. You're just describing me right now. God. He's like an idiot. He waited till he was 40 to have a child. And now he's out of breath. What a piece of shit.
How's he gonna pick?
He
his
still
kids up?
dresses like he's young. He forgets he's 40. He's growing his hair out.
For God's sakes, tuck your shirt in.
Well, that's a cool Caddyshack shirt.
Yeah, I wonder what it means.
You're 40. Oh, that's great.
I was born in 82. This says 84 on it.
That's awesome. That's a great shirt.
Yeah.
You bought that offline, huh? You spent money on that?
Yeah. Cool.
No, I love it. I'm just making fun.
So, and I just want to talk about the court scene maybe before we totally move on.
Please.
Because this whole thing, it just makes you think like, wow, yeah, I now realize why people hated lawyers back then, because I don't like either of those lawyers.
Ooh, the woman
The
lawyer.
lady is crazy.
Wow. She's like,
She like the judge is handing down the sentence, and she's just like, yes,
We got your
got another one. Fuck yeah.
one more chink in the chain
Yeah.
for the patriarchy. Got it. It's just like, okay, calm down.
But at the same time,
Then you have other guy.
well, yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, but at the same time, the judge handed down is like, you don't have a job.
yeah.
You're an out of work voice actor. You're you don't have a proper place to live.
your haircut is dog shit.
Your haircut's dog shit. 3 things required to be a good parent.
Right. Yeah.
Hair, apartment, job.
Khakis. It's like, excuse me, Mr. Hillard, where are your khakis? What are you doing?
This is a court of law.
This is a court of law, and you will respect it. Those things better be pleated and ironed. I want pleats the next time I see you. That's what I need.
Isn't that amazing, though, how it does? Like, you watch this as a kid, you're like, that's so harsh. Like, what? Listen to what he's saying. He's like, you need these things, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like,
It's the most fair sentence I've ever heard.
as we've distinguished, there are moments when you're a kid that it doesn't register what's being said. You're only picking up on the themes of the music, and if it's a sadder theme, or if it's happier and lifting, and you kind of have that playing into you, and then it's the sad look. It's just the sad look of Robin Williams is all I'm picking up as a child, right? And I'm like, this is just not fair. He loves his children. Why can't he be with his children? It's like, look, I guess I just have to be reasonable here, Mr. Hillard. I see you've had like 7 jobs in the past like year and a half, and you've been fired from most of them. You're going to be leaving the house, and you don't have any place to live. I think you said most of your stuff is still in your car. And look, you haven't combed your hair since 1979. This is not okay. It's like you need to have the reasonable things to support your children.
Go work on them.
But at the same time, as a kid, I'm still just like, this isn't fair.
But he's funny.
Yeah.
But he got the zoo to our house.
He turned his head sideways and jumped on the couch.
He listened to, what is it?
House of
Pain. Why did I say Cypress Hill in my notes? It sounds like Cypress Hill.
Now you're making me doubt myself. That's House of Pain.
It's
Jump
House
around.
of Pain.
Yeah,
okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Cypress Hill's more like, instead of jumping around, don't jump around and smoke this bowl with me.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Totally different.
Fuck yeah, dude. 420s, we'll legalize it.
Before we move on, though, why was this grandma in the scene? Why is she there? And then why does she never reappear? And then why doesn't she just take care of the kids?
Right. Why isn't she just kind of,
That was a
in to help?
throwaway for me. Like, just like, oh, let's just get an old lady and stand her up there, and he can make a couple jokes about her.
Yeah. it's just like another like non sequitur thing that just happens and then pops in. It's like, oh yeah, wait, well there's mom. Like grandma'd be helping and happy to help with the kids.
Grandma's here while we get back on our feet.
Turns out, no, she's got her own vacation already planned. I'm going down for my ties. I'm out of here. Fuck those kids.
What was the nosy neighbor, the Karen?
Fucking Polly or something.
What's the mom's name? The first name?
Miranda.
Miranda. It always irked me as a kid, and even in these rewatches. Well, even in these rewatches where she's like flipping through the phone book, and like the sound of the phone book was like irritating to me, and it still is.
Yeah.
Just like everything a Karen does is just fucking horrible.
It just has to be obnoxious and kind of like drawing attention.
And then when she finally gets through, she's like, "Yes, Miranda Hillard, please." Like her voice is just like, "Whoa!" It sounds like someone. Yeah, why not?
Okay, because I have it
If we
too.
were on a train to go punch a face, I'm on board.
It sounds like her throat is coated with charcoal.
Which lady is this again?
The neighbor.
The neighbor.
The neighbor
who calls
lady.
he calls the cop. She calls the cops and then also calls Miranda at work to say there are farm animals here.
Okay.
They're eating my bushes.
My babushkas.
My babushkas.
Look, I don't want to know about your bush getting eaten.
Shut up.
This is not what I needed.
Do
I'm
it.
at
Dive
work.
in there. I'm
at
for
work.
it.
Whoa.
I'm for
I'm
it.
at work. That's what Miranda's saying.
Yeah, that's back in the day when obviously no one had. Well, she did have a cell phone.
Yeah.
She did have a little weird flip
She
cell
did.
phone, but this is back when you had, like when you fill out a form sometimes nowadays, it's like, give me your work number, give me your home number, give me your cell number, give me
all
your
the
fax
same.
number. It's all the same now. But back then it was like, well, just in case you can't reach me at home,
Contacts.
here's my direct number at work.
Yeah.
And then here's also my mobile device, but it costs a lot of money to talk on that, so only in emergencies.
You know what? I'll give you the number to my life alert
Yes.
because that'll
My
be good
life
for you.
alert.
I don't have much longer.
I don't.
All right, Shaun's punching her in the face. Who you punching in the
I'm
face?
punching Daniel's lawyer.
Oh.
Okay.
Because this is what I was going to say is I know we hate lady lawyer, right? She's so satisfied with this tough sentence coming down or they're moving forward with. I mean, basically full custody going to Miranda, except for Saturdays. And then you think about Daniel's lawyer and the conversation, and he's like handing down the sentence. He's like, "Isn't this where you object or something?" He's like, "Well, no, I can't really do that." And then he's like, "Hey, not too bad, right? We 90 days. Well, we could pull it together." Then he's just like, "Yeah, you didn't do anything for me, dude. That guy, I want to punch that guy."
Okay, I'm going to punch Tony at the studio where he goes to work.
Oh,
When he's like, "Hi, I'm Daniel Hillard, the actor." That guy, I want to punch that dumb.
Smart ass.
I want to punch that dumbass leather hat that he has. I want it to fall off of his face as his head hits the ground.
that guy, he drives a cab
Yes.
for another job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, he's terrible.
So that's who I'm punching in the face.
I do like that too. Yeah, that's a good one. Well
Scene
done.
2, Daniel finds an apartment and gets a low-level job at a TV station. He learns that Miranda intends to hire a housekeeper, alters the classified ad, and messes with her, pretending to be different people. He then calls as Mrs. Doubtfire and impresses Miranda into getting an interview. Daniel enlists his brother Frank, a makeup artist, and his partner Jack to transform him into the character.
What do you think of his impressions during this scene of the
When he's talking to the Mrs. Snell or whatever.
Yeah. What's her name? Mrs. Snell?
I think that's what her name
Mrs. Sellner.
Sellner.
Yeah, I love this scene, and every time he's like, "I do a great impression of a hot dog."
That's
like,
and he
fuck.
holds it too long. Like he goes, you laugh because he goes, "Oh, he's a hot dog," and then you go, "It's not that funny." But then he holds it just 1 second longer. And
All
you go,
right, it is
"All right,
funny."
that's really funny." And you could tell they said he did. What did they say? They basically shot 5 takes of every scene, and then they basically said go.
Yeah.
And he would keep 3 different cameras rolling at all times because they never knew where he was going to be.
They
or what
couldn't
he was
keep
gonna
up
do.
with him.
They just couldn't keep up with. He's such an energetic force, and that's the funniest stuff. I know. They basically just sat him down there and go, "Give us 20 different funny things."
Yeah.
And he just went, "Only 20?
Yeah.
I have a million. Let's
90,
go."
yeah.
I mean, this is where they definitely let that stuff onto the final cut of the movie. But they said they had probably 3 different cuts of the movie. One was rated R, one was PG-13, another one was PG. And if they really wanted to, it could have been a 3-hour movie. of additional parts and scenes and side storylines even. And a lot of it was driven by Robin Williams wanting to get the best take. And they said that he needed to get the scene out of his mind. So that's why they would let him
so many times.
That's why they would let him do it 10 times in a scene so he could be done with it.
I can't imagine. Half of me thinks it would be amazing being on that set and being a part of it. But half of me also thinks being one of the other actors, it would be just like draining.
You could see, especially in like Pierce Brosnan, and it works for his character, but you can see like, especially like the improv kind of takes that he has with Pierce Brosnan there with him. You can tell that Pierce Brosnan's face is just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I have no idea. Like, I'll just kind of react how I react, and he's just classy because he's James Bond, you know.
Not yet, he's not.
Well, not yet. But you know what I mean? Can you kind of feel that?
100%. Yeah. When we get to Pierce Brosnan, I really do think he's great for this role. But like you're saying about everyone else on that set, and not even just the other actors, Robin Williams is a freight train, and you have to get out of the way or try to jump on and ride it for what it is.
You know who I think stops that train, though? Who kind of derails that train? Sally Field.
Sally Field.
Sally Field is just a roadblock of an actor. You know, like especially like later on when she does find out that it's actually her husband, her ex-husband.
Oh, yeah.
She goes through like 100 different emotions in just like 3 seconds. It's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
She is amazing in this.
Yeah, 100%.
So Harvey Fierstein plays his brother.
Yeah.
Frank.
No wonder he doesn't like smoking.
Why? Oh, duh.
Fucking sounds like he smokes like 18 packs a day.
Well, I think it's kind of sad that Harvey Fierstein is typecast. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, you're going to go there? And I'm not. I think it's sad that he always has to play the man on the phone with his mother. Because he literally, in Independence Day in this, he's always talking to his mom on the phone. Mom! Oh, don't go outside.
Mom, calm down. Don't go outside. I can't make it there.
I think as a kid, I watched this movie in Independence Day so much, I just thought it was the same
It's the
character.
same guy. As far as I'm concerned, that is the same character.
Somewhere in Independence Day, his brother Daniel Hillard is somewhere out there working in San Francisco.
No, he's on the rooftop going, "Welcome, aliens."
You think he's out there?
Yeah, he's on the rooftop for sure.
No, he didn't make it because if the aliens saw, they'd be like, "Oh, I love Miss Doubtfire."
I remember that scene, and somehow it's very funny. But I'm pretty sure we actually watch him die. that he's just like on the phone with his mom. He's like, "Mom," he's like, "Oh crap!"
There's like a
and it's
fireball.
Just,
yeah,
mom. No, you can't feed the dog that. Like, I don't know. Like, that's like a thing he would say.
Are you eating nuts? I'm allergic to nuts.
You can't eat macadamias. It's a tree nut. It's like,
it's great though. I like him in this movie. I love how
he's great.
Yeah,
I do love him.
And a little bit. I expected this movie to have more issues. Like, oh, great. Like, not going to hold up modern day, but I thought it was slightly progressive in a lot of things. Like, to have a gay couple that's just like, that's them. Yeah. They call it Aunt Jack. He calls Aunt Jack at one point.
Yeah, that's
Uncle
right.
Frank and Aunt Jack.
Yes.
And it's like everybody was cool with it.
Yeah.
So I really thought that was great.
It's cool.
They don't have any need or feel the need to address it anywhere beyond that.
Right.
It's just like, this is cool.
Like any movie around this time that would have something like that in one of these movies would have made fun of it somehow.
It would have
for no fucking reason.
It would have probably brought it very much to the forefront for at least a good portion of a scene.
Where in this, it's like, oh, he
scenes.
must be gay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. If this would have been like 5 years earlier, the judge would have been like, I can't grant you custody because you have a gay brother.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, what the heck?
I could fucking see that. Man. Like,
You're right.
Yeah.
And everybody go, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't trust him.
Yeah, that's gross.
Can't trust him.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
Go judge.
Why are you eating?
It's popcorn. I'm in the movie theater.
Oh, okay.
And
I thought you were the
Sorry, I
judge.
should have defined the the setting. But no, I love this. What's that?
Sorry, zip.
Zop. But I love this scene because when they just start going back and forth. Are we there yet? Like
Yeah,
when he's asked them to do this for him, and I love that moment when he walks in and he's just like, "You make me a woman." He's like, "Oh, honey, yes. I knew you'd understand."
So do you think he tells? Is he just being like, "Hey, I just want to be a woman," or is he like, "This is what I'm doing"?
That's a good point. That's a good question.
That's never really ever brought up.
No,
It's
And
not.
you never really get any inkling of that at all.
If my brother got a divorce from his wife and is like, "Hey, I'm going to violate court orders and pretend like I'm a woman so that I can be in my old house," I'd be like, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah,
dude.
you're fucking crazy.
I don't know if you want to do that.
It's
Yeah.
like, well, I would have supported it in post. However, you just made me an accessory to this,
I ain't
so
going to
I
jail.
can't be.
You know that judge hates me. Okay.
Yeah.
I am implicated now.
Yes, exactly. I hope he didn't tell him.
I don't think so. I think he's just so excited to be like, "This is great."
Yeah, he's like, this is gonna be a lot.
It's for
of fun.
an experiment or something.
Yeah. He
TV
goes-
show.
When he is going through all of these
Oh, it's so
characters, the Barbara Streisand one is my favorite, and I literally just caught it on this last rewatch. It's like, oh, I got to stop giving these gibbings from a moil, and I know what a moil is because of Robin Hood Men in Tights, and a moil performs circumcisions, and these gibbings are chicken skins. Like fried chicken skins or
Jesus.
something, and they're so chewy, and it's just like
You guarantee.
Is he just like
that was improv.
like
for
quoting
sure.
Yentl or something?
yeah, he is just like, again, we just get another nice scene of, hey, Robin, we're gonna dress you up in like several different ways.
You have 4 hours now in
ahead.
this chair to think about what funny jokes you're gonna
Yeah.
make.
yes, and we're gonna flip you around, and we're gonna have you do it like 8 times for each one of these. Great.
I gotta say, AJ, I think I disagree with you. For some reason, Barbara Streisand freaks me out,
That was a
and
that
like
was a-
this like solidifies it.
yeah.
I don't
Not
know.
a Barbara Streisand.
And my home to hold the butter. What the fuck song is that he sings?
What is?
He's like singing to the camera as like Barbara Streisand.
Oh, I don't know the song, but yes, and but he comes together like singing with them, and then I love it when his brother and Jack come into the
Yep.
scene
Yes.
too, and they're singing together. They're singing to the camera.
Apparently they knew the song, and then Robin Williams didn't. They had to like teach Robin Williams the
that's great.
song on set.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh!
So you get to meet Pierce Brosnan for the first time now here as Stu, and going into this, I was I remember going like, like, man, Sally's like just being a little rough on our boy here, and then all of a sudden you see Pierce Brosnan and you go, I love you.
Yep.
You're gorgeous. You're way hotter than Robin Williams. You're
Yeah.
right. Like Pierce Brosnan is just a
Well, I love
stalwart. Man.
I
He's-
love the line he's like, I always hoped you'd find happiness. And she's like, wow, that's so nice. And it just cuts to him right away. He's like, I know. Just has that charming smirk.
I know. I'm Pierce Brosnan.
I know. I'm going to be James Bond soon if I do well.
Do you notice my accent?
Miranda.
I'm Pierce
Just
Brosnan.
the way he says her name. That turns me on.
Miranda.
There's a
Miranda's
little
so
smoke
good
in
to
his
see
voice.
you.
Yeah.
And he's got the light suits that are just the nice daytime suits with the open shirt.
He looks like you could peel the suit right off.
The man should be driving like he should have like Magnum PI's car, but somehow it's not pretentious.
Yeah.
How do you do it, Pierce?
And you know what? Like Kurt Russell, he only gets hotter when he ages.
Only gets
Yeah.
hotter.
the fucking
Silver
beard he's got now.
Fox.
Good God.
Silver Fox. There's a couple things about Pierce Brosnan that I must talk about. Number one, the character of Stu, as my understanding, was supposed to be like the classic bad guy, right?
Yeah.
That it was like,
Oh, right.
oh no, he's actually he's a shitbag.
Yeah, he's like Craig Kilborn maybe in Wedding Crashers,
Yes,
like you find out behind the scenes
or Bradley Cooper or whatever.
or whatever. Yeah.
I don't know.
Bad example.
Bad-
but yeah,
well.
you think it's good intentions, but then turns out, yeah, I'm just here to take all of her money.
Right.
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
that
yes.
was
that
Bradley
kind of
Cooper,
thing.
yeah.
Yes, that kind of stuff. You kind of keep thinking like he's gonna turn into this, and they kind of rewrote the part. I think when Pierce Brosnan was taking it over or accepted it, that no, he's actually like the perfect person to step into this family situation.
Yeah, he really is.
He loves those kids, and
yeah.
he is just absolutely infatuated with Miranda.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you know what? Robin, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Daniel, I'm sorry, bro, but this man, he could have my heart as far as I'm
and
concerned.
It is funny how he tortures him throughout this entire movie. It's fun to see that. It's so entertaining, but yeah, at the same time, I think he even deep down knows over time that like he is pretty good for Miranda.
Yeah.
And pretty good for his kids.
I think it's
overall.
part of what's so threatening about him.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
To Daniel, you know.
Who was your favorite prank phone call person that he made when he was calling the babysitters?
I take job.
I am 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 job. I like the it's like where he's screaming. He's screaming like in the back, or like she picks up and it's like, hello. It's like, would you get back in that cage? Hello.
I like the first one. She said, I was in a band called Severe Tire Damage.
Severe tire damage.
So I had to look it up to be like, was there ever a band Severe Tire Damage? There was.
Oh.
Severe Tire Damage is credited as the first band to ever perform live on the internet.
Whoa.
That is literally all that is available. Apparently they worked for they were part of a building of scientists who were like discussing new technology about broadcasting on the internet. And they did a live broadcast in like 1993. And then in 1994, the Rolling Stones did a live broadcast. And they were like mentioned in in New York Times as being the first band who did it, who opened for the Stones, like kind of that is all I know. That's all I know.
That's all it is.
That is literally all that it is. Severe tire damage.
Their recordings are gone. No one
like,
cares
no one
about
cares.
what they sounded like.
No.
They just have that stat to their name.
That's the one credit they got. What's the thing? The reasoning why she said, "Oh yeah, I used to be in a band and I used to do this," and it's like, "Oh, I don't." What does she say? He says, "Oh, I don't do this.
I don't work at the Mails because I used to be one."
Oh, that's
that was a different one.
that was a different one.
I used to be one.
Because I used to be one. The position's been filled. Yeah. Again, it's just I love these little montages because there's more and more of getting to see Robin Williams just do what he has
characters
been doing. Yeah.
So good. And then I never thought about this before, but I love the detail of when he does call as Mrs. Doubtfire. She's like, "Oh, what's your name?" And he's like, "My name." And he says it's a headline that says "Police Doubtfire was an accident." I never realized that at all as a kid. I never actually.
Police Doubtfire was an accident.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty hard to just look around the room and just come up with a name real quick, like Cornridge. Mr. Cornridge. I did it.
Goon dogs.
Goon dogs? Sean Goondog?
Shaun.
Mike Cornridge? Come on, AJ, quick, go. I need your name. What is it?
It's Jeff Matt.
Ooh, Dracula.
Matt?
Dracula Duel.
You guys aren't good. Mine was quick. I was Cornridge. Go.
It's Jeff VHS Maps. Did I do it?
My name's Craig.
Craig.
AJ Craig. All right, let's move this on to scene 3. So during the interview, Mrs. Doubtfire is offered the job by Miranda. The children initially struggle to adjust to Mrs. Doubtfire's strict methods, but they soon begin to thrive, becoming happier and doing better in school. While Daniel continues to improve himself and the children, Miranda begins to date a man named Stu. One night, Chris and Lydia accidentally learn that Mrs. Doubtfire is their father in disguise, but after the initial panic and learning why he did it, they agree to keep it a secret and are happy to have him back in their lives.
So before this, I want to talk about when he is getting all the makeup done to him and everything. It is a cool little cinema lesson of how that is actually done, like the prosthetic and filling or putting all the makeup on the person or like putting their cast and then filling that cast with like a caster mold and then like sculpting that and then putting latex over that and sculpting with that sculpt is actually pretty much how it's done and how it's always kind of been done. It's pretty cool to see that in a mainstream movie where you don't like, if you're not really interested in it, that's pretty much is how it's done.
I think it's important that they showed it, you know, because you need this whole like transformation. You need to understand why or how it's happening, you know, and they kind of show it as like, we just did first. They just do some wigs and some makeup, and then they do some latex like prosthetics, like a nose, and then they take it one step further, and then finally it's like we got to go all out.
You can't just go to Halloween Express and like, pick out a mask or something like that.
If it was any better, you'd be mother.
Yeah, you can't go to Halloween Express and buy the old housekeeper, you know, outfit.
No,
you gotta do a little bit more.
The old hag mask.
Yeah.
But they did say, Shaun, that like they wanted it to look like he could just put this prosthetic mask on, but in reality, it was multiple layers of things.
A long time.
It was like a 4.5 hour process every day, but they wanted it to be this believable. Oh yeah, you just put this thing on over your head.
It works. It works.
Yeah,
for the movie.
it completely works. It looks good.
Yeah.
He looks nothing like himself. He becomes completely a character that you forget is him underneath.
100%. It's crazy. In Pierce Brosnan, I think even in an interview was like, I never really worked with Robin Williams. I worked with
Mrs.
Doubtfire the whole time. Like I don't know if he stayed in character like in between takes or anything.
Sure,
but still, like it's unrecognizable.
With Mrs. Doubtfire coming into this, like when they meet for the first time, I don't know. Like when they meet for the first time and like she meets the kids, it's really tough for me to watch Lydia's response to it because I think she's just kind of being a bitch.
No, the older kid is that is a typical role for the older kids. Are always like,
yeah.
Think about Uncle Buck.
Yeah,
The same thing. The older daughters are like,
it's true,
and the two other kids are like, this is great.
Yeah, like I do think it's like just such a very believable thing of the moment that you see Robin Williams when that door opens up. I just don't think it's Robin Williams anymore.
I like that they
when
wait
I was a
to
kid,
show that.
Yeah, like
they could have showed him and been like, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's send him to the house, but they don't. They wait for that door to open.
Yeah, you don't get to see the final product.
Ninja Turtles.
They Ninja Turtles this.
Yeah.
That's right. I want.
This is the Ninja Turtles effect.
Can that be that can be a thing for us, right? Oh, they Ninja Turtled the scene really well.
They did very well.
But yeah, we wait for that door to open. We don't get to see her until that door swings open, and from that moment on, it's Mrs. Doubtfire. And in my head, as a kid, that's the way it was.
By the way, what are the kids watching before she comes over?
Dick Van Dyke, bro.
Well, it's like a black and white thing of like somebody like pushing clay on someone's face, like a nose, that thing.
Twilight Zone, bro.
It's just, it could be, but it's like whatever I watch when I get home late at night after recording this and I smoke a huge bowl.
Yeah.
That's what I watch.
Ew.
Shaun's just like,
that's my show.
fuck.
I've seen this.
Oh, that's good. I like that. It's a good show.
Cannonball.
I do think that the bus driver scene is a little sad to me. Like,
I know.
like it's supposed to be. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but on modern day rewatch, both of those interactions are kind of sad.
This is how disconnected I was as a child watching this. I literally thought, I was like, oh, that'd be nice if they got together.
He's a creep.
Lonely.
You're just like,
He's a creep, right? We all agree?
No, I
Okay.
don't think so.
No?
I think he's like sad, lonely old man who like lost his wife 10 years ago and just is like, that looks like a real nice lady, and
It's like,
I'd love to take her out to eat some night.
Hope you have something nice and warm to go home to tonight.
Okay.
You can read it both. Like I see where you're going, and I can see that. I think as a kid I thought that.
What you thought?
Like I was
creeper?
like, ugh.
He's like
Yeah,
looking her
like,
up and down and shit. Like, you hope we have some place to go, warm to go home to tonight.
Okay, so
Like
here's
my bed.
I mean,
I sleep on this bus actually
I own
every
this.
night.
I sleep in the cargo compartment below.
It's very cozy.
So upon rewatch, this time around, I felt more on the creeper vibes. However, as a kid, I just thought like, oh, they'd be a nice couple. And now you guys talking about this, I kind of think, where did they get the idea and like shaping and prosthetics for the face? And now I'm thinking he's so wide-eyed when she walks onto that bus. It's like, oh my God, my late wife.
Oh no!
What? It can't be, but it looks just like her. And you're like, I hope you got somewhere nice and warm to go home to. It's like, is this like his? This is like his wife, I think.
He just seemed like a sweet old man who was just lonely and felt that maybe she was lonely too. She was by herself.
He used to be like an author that his brother really liked or something like that, and modeled that Mrs. Doubtfire off of his late wife.
Found
And
an
then-
obituary.
Yes, exactly. Found that picture, and then he retired because he's a widow now and just drives a bus
Because it's
is
easy
a
for him
lonely.
to meet and talk to
Yep,
people
yep.
here and there when he's driving the bus.
And he sees her walk on the bus, and it's like literally a fucking ghost walks
and
on
it's
there.
like angels walking onto his bus.
Sounds like an R.L. Stein story.
Oh, I'd like to. Just the
Hi,
way God made you.
I'm R.L. Stein.
Natural.
Okay, so what about the Mrs. Sellner scene? This is the first.
This is the best.
This exhausts me. Like this gives me anxiety that I never knew I had. That as a kid you're like, this is so funny, but not like as an adult I'm going, oh my God, like what if he gets caught? He's ruining everything here. What's going on?
Mrs.
She's gonna walk
Sellner.
in.
Yeah, she's going to walk right in at any point in time.
I love it.
It's so good.
A lot of this is improv, right?
Yeah, I mean, we can get to this scene. But I love his I love the script's like excuse for it. It's like, oh, that's my brother. Daniel's my brother, and she's his sister.
Yeah.
And so he's got to play both characters. It's just a clinic of like comedic improving, acting, and timing, and staging with the direction and everything. It's a fucking absolute clinic, and it's so much fun to watch. And then you get the gems of like when he does do like, oh, you want a little cream? And you're saying, oh, there's a little cream. Like all of that, like that the lights. Well, first of all, it was going to be like avocado on his face. He was going to put like a
Because you always have just a plate
you
of
just
avocado.
block.
it
block
comes,
of yeah.
comes with every house you buy.
Yes.
Just a guacamole tray?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So he was going to put that on his face, but it looked like too monstrous, like Frankenstein's monster pretty much. And so they exited that idea, and they just came up with the cream, the pie filling or whatever. And so the set lights were too hot, much like these set lights. They're not too hot, but
Because these are LEDs.
yeah. But they were so hot, they were like melting what was on his face, and it like actually was falling off him. So they just like,
Oh
we'll
my.
keep that.
That's a funny joke.
Yeah, keep doing that.
Let's let it fall on the coffee.
And so he like improv'd like like in a scene it wasn't supposed to happen. It fell in.
One number two. Oh, there's
yeah,
another one.
all of that was improv, and like the filmmakers, Chris Columbus and everybody were just like, well, that's fucking funny. So they just like get inserts of cream falling into the coffee or the tea. It's like that. Fuck yes, that's filmmaking right there. That's like problem solving, but making it a joke.
Yeah. It's an ongoing thing to make a movie, and you have to be able to like roll with the punches and do otherwise you're fighting against the movie itself.
Yeah.
I think. And if you allow those things, and they have the eye, Chris Columbus has the eye to go ahead and do that. To say, I think we talked about it in some other movies that he's done, but it's that he has the eye and the acceptance of things to happen.
Yeah,
and,
that's a gift.
and then take it all in and film it.
That's
Yeah.
a gift given to you, that when you have a performer who makes a mistake be a joke now.
Yeah.
You use that. That's it's hard to make. We talk about it all the time. It's hard to fucking make these movies. Mistakes happen all the goddamn time. It doesn't go perfectly ever. And then once something like this happens,
Yeah.
you use it.
I love it. It's like, oh, well, it's like I just always felt there's like, so it's a little bit of light cream and it's, it's egg whites and this is I found that it's really great for the complexion and then it also makes a great cup of tea and it's just like plop and then I like that Mrs. Sellner,
she puts it in.
and she's just like.
She does have nice skin.
Exactly.
Is that the most recognizable thing you think of in this movie? Is his face with the pie on it?
I love it. I mean, this is in our kitchen at my fiance's and I's house. Yeah.
Did you always think? Apparently, he says hello, but like I always thought it was toodaloo or something. Like
I always thought it was woodaloo or something. You know, I don't.
You think it was hello?
I always thought it's hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
I just always thought there was like an extra syllable in there of like a well hello or that kind of a thing, you know, or woodaloo. Yeah, I don't know what it was.
I love it.
Get at us. Is it woodaloo? Is it toodaloo? Or hello?
Or is
Please.
it hello? Is it just hello? We don't know.
I want to do a bunch of takes of it, but then just put different captions below just to fuck with people.
It's the same take.
Yeah,
but just as he goes. Yeah,
Just
that's
change
a
the
very
caption.
true thing. Yeah.
You read it, then that's what happened.
The one thing that I found, I don't know if I like it about this movie, is the song lists from here on out. So like we fucking get it.
Luck Be a Lady is great. I don't mind that.
It's not great.
Okay.
It's these songs maybe by themselves are fine, but like
Luck Be a Lady is like unless you're making a movie in Las Vegas, don't use that song.
like we fucking get it. It was Daniel, and now he's dressing up like a lady.
Luck Be a Lady.
Luck Be a Lady. Walk like a man. Talk like a man. Dude looks like a lady.
Fuck that song.
Hold on that. One more, too.
Okay.
Then they do Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, which I never really thought about. The lyrics says, ain't no drag. Papa's got a brand new bag. I was like, are we? What?
Are we repurposing words? You know what I mean? Like
whatever.
It's got to be producers who are just like, so this is about a man dressing up as a woman, huh?
Okay.
Well, we got to put some fucking funny songs in here.
You know what'd be
Yeah.
fun? You know what'd be fun? If just find some songs that talk about ladies and say like lady and man in it.
Yeah.
How about that, guys?
Oh, also, like let's just write in a Halloween scene where she takes the kids trick or treating. We'll do I Want Candy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That
yes.
sounds
Write that in, please. No, dude looks like a lady is maybe the worst song ever written.
Of all fucking time? Yeah, I think so.
Can we also? I'm sorry, you said it, I Want Candy.
No.
Yeah, that's
Talk more about Aerosmith.
Aerosmith is the worst.
I'm too
of all
sexy for my
time.
shirt. That's all I wanted. Go ahead.
I'd rather listen to that.
Sorry, yes, yeah, AJ. You're correct. She's putting on different outfits.
Yeah.
Why didn't we get that montage?
This is fucking prime time for
That's
that.
the one that would have ended it for us. We wouldn't have to listen to it again. Go ahead.
It's true. Yeah, that would have imploded the universe. I think if we have another one of those. But what is the fucking sound?
It's that.
It's just
It's him saying that, but with some weird inflection.
You reverse it.
fuck.
They wrote this in like '87, just crossing their fingers, going, someday there's gonna be a movie where a dude dresses up like a lady,
Fuck this song.
and then we'll get on the Armageddon soundtrack.
Yeah, and then I can serenade my daughter.
I can watch my daughter fondle Ben Affleck.
Every day I serenade my daughter when she's getting laid. I love you, babe. And Ben Affleck's in your bed.
Ben Affleck's in your what?
Nothing. That's fine.
Come on now. Face first, I hope.
Ben Affleck's in your special place. Okay.
Derailed. All right.
Okay, I have a question here. I love the progressiveness of this movie. Like, I was watching this whole thing going, I'm waiting for it to fall apart. Like, I'm waiting for a moment where you're like, ugh, there is the 90s for you. And I think we finally get it in where the kids find out who he is.
Yeah.
That was the one thing where I'm just like, what? Come on. Like this is I like everything about the scene, mostly Chris's lines in this.
Yeah.
The kid is where it just like, you're like, yeah, this is weird.
Well, and then, like, if I was a kid and I saw that happen, I'd be like, whoa, weird. and that's it.
Well,
I'd be like, oh my god, my god.
They go. He's like, quick, call 911, and correct. Let's call 911 because oh my god, we don't know who is this person that's actually in our house now. But that's not the way they go. They call 911. She's a he. He's a she. She's a
she.
He's a he. She. Like that's where it's like, oh, that's why we're calling the cops.
Yeah. It could have instead been that this is a man dressed up like a woman, and unfortunately, you just don't know it's your dad.
Yes,
obviously, right?
Well, and they're not progressive kids at all. You have to understand these kids watch fucking stupid Dick Van Dyke.
Nobody watches Dick Van Dyke.
Fucking Street Sharks is on.
Guts is on right now.
Fucking Street Sharks.
Global Guts is about to start.
Let's go.
Legends
Double
of the
Dare.
Hidden Temple.
Come on.
Adventures of Pete and Pete. Salute your shorts.
Mike Summers.
God, hey,
Let's
dude,
do it.
this is.
No, we like to watch old stuff.
We like the classics.
We always watch Dick Van Dyke.
We always.
You're interrupting my Dick Van Dyke time.
that face is made by a very. You're just like. I'm sorry, I have a whole character worked out in my brain now. We're just like
We always watch Dick Van Dyke.
we always watch it.
It's like
whatever.
you have to tuck your shit.
Yeah.
And go, we always watch Dick Van Dyke.
We always watch Dick Van
After
Dyke.
we have our popsicles.
It's. Hang on. We always watch Dick Van Dyke.
Have you seen
every time?
Have you seen Gargoyles, dude?
Is that on Dick Van Dyke?
No. No, it's not.
Well, I only watch Dick
It's like
Van
a-
Dyke, and we always watch Dick Van Dyke.
Well, it's like a cool animated show where it's like it's got Keith David in it. He does the voice of Goliath, and it's like they come to life at night and like fight crime and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, actually.
Is it in black and white?
What the fuck did you just say?
I don't like color.
My mom says that since I'm colorblind, we should just watch TV in black and white.
Just
Oh, you're colorblind. I'm sorry, but you can watch animated shows if you're colorblind. I think it's fine. You still get the context of it.
Is it on before or after Dick Van Dyke?
I think it's on at the same time.
Okay.
just another reason why you should check us out on YouTube, my friends, because you got to see what AJ looks like. Anyway, that's another Ace Ventura moment for me. I had to get it out. That's like the lazy plot writing, in my opinion. Just like, yeah.
And so, like, once this is revealed to them, I don't think there's enough done filmmaking wise, to be honest, to like cut to their reactions of like will people who don't know who he is find out who he is or not. You know what I mean? So like, especially once they're at the dinner thing, which we'll get to later, there's not enough shots of like, oh, he might get found out right now. Like I want them to cut to the kids' reactions a little bit more than they do.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, like looking at each other. He's like, oh,
Going to the
slipping
pool
up.
or
yeah, exactly.
Slipping up and like going, hey, Doubtfire.
There's not
You know, like,
enough.
yeah.
There's not enough in. You know, I don't know if I need more reactions from them, but I would like a little bit more because like I think the storytelling kind of forgets that they know.
yeah.
Throughout the film.
At the same time, though, I guess if we were going to be particular, I also don't want it to become a are they going to slip up kind of situation. I don't want to have to worry about it because I want him to be able to focus on this literally secret agent potential man is moving in on my family.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it from the pool bar. And I just watched him do a perfect dive off this. By the way, are we at the pool scene yet?
Let's move on to the
Let's
pool
do
scene.
that.
One more
Oh,
thing. Why wouldn't you just sit down to pee every time?
Sometimes I
tend
do.
to, sometimes
I love to.
More-
Like if you're trying to like keep up this facade, there's a noise that comes with males.
It's true.
And you
Standing
know
up.
that, like, you know, when you know there's a girl you're trying to impress in the other room, you try to pee as hard as you can.
Right. Yep.
Into the
You know, 'cause
deepest part.
Yes, because
So
then it makes it sound like it's a very powerful penis.
Women
Powerful
listen up.
stream.
This is male secrets coming up.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Things guys do.
you know, he's trying to impress Miranda to be like, whoo.
You think so?
No.
No.
No, you got to sit down. I just wanted to mention at some point in this podcast, I want to talk about peeing hard on purpose.
Yeah.
And that was my moment, and I just don't think it fit.
We'll
get
sometimes we'll catch each other in the bathroom in the studio, and what guys do then is be like, "Oh, that's a good stream, man."
It's a male dominance thing,
Yeah,
I think. You know,
it
it's
really
like
is.
you have to aim at the deepest part of the toilet.
And really push.
Oh man, that water is cold and deep.
Unless you pooped earlier and there's like particles or like
Right.
along the side, you have to try and pee those off.
You're doing
which
that's
that's
you're
your
doing the
duty.
favor.
Yes.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
to do
Sit down to pee, Mrs. Doubtfire. That should have happened. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree with
One,
you.
it's a character flaw.
Yeah.
Girls sit down to pee.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Maybe
Lock the door.
Yeah.
maybe his feet would hurt from the heels. You'd want to sit down.
Yes.
We get it.
He's been playing soccer in heels. Mm-hmm. Anyway, scene 4. One day, Daniel's clowning around with toy dinosaurs on a TV set when the CEO walks in as impressed. He invites him to dinner to discuss further. He agrees, but then is invited to Miranda's birthday dinner at the same restaurant on the same date and time. Daniel decides to attend and change back and forth between characters and dinner tables. Getting tipsy off of scotch, he makes mistakes which lead to everyone finding out Mrs. Doubtfire's true identity. Tell me, boys, did you know who Mr. Lundy was?
God
Mr.
damn
Lundy.
it. God damn it.
His real name is Robert Prosky.
Great Outdoors.
Yes.
Yes.
He is Wally from the Great Outdoors.
Yes.
Right
Yes.
away, I was like, well, you should sure will get the shits from the whale water. I thought that was a great. I mean,
He died on the car ride over here.
died on the car ride over here. Ah, Jesus.
Jesus, they're kissing him.
Yeah, Mr. Lundy. What do you think about Mr. Lundy?
I
like him.
love Mr.
Yeah?
Lundy.
Yeah.
I like him as the CEO of the man, I'm really trying to figure out how to make our station better, but we got this guy and I don't know. I really don't know what to do.
Dinosaurs are gonna
And so
the crustacean period.
Do you think
like he sounds like he doesn't have any organs left in his body. It's just he's just bones.
he just
it's still a better
you gotta play the bones.
still a better dinosaur movie than Lost World was.
Whoa.
Wow.
Underrated, I
just
think.
saying.
This is a better dinosaur movie.
Yeah, this guy playing with the dinosaurs is better, which is unique that Jurassic Park was the #1 movie of this year.
That's a good point.
This was #2, and then we've got dinosaurs.
I would
He's like-
say
he's probably
I would agree with you if you said Jurassic World movies, because those can go to fucking hell.
well,
well,
you're right. I haven't seen the newest.
Let's
one.
talk about that for 500 minutes.
no.
Okay.
No.
I love this moment actually between Daniel and Mr. Lundy because, and this is I think why I like Mr. Lundy so much is because it's like he's going off on him and he's just like who would keep this dinosaur on TV for this long? He was putting me to sleep when I was a kid. He's like, what idiot would do this? He's like, that'd be me. He's like, you? He's like, oh, Jonathan Lundy. He was like, formerly employed. He's like, maybe. He's like, oh, it's a funny joke. I love their back and forth.
Yeah.
But you see this very, very human side of Lundy who very, very easily, again, could just be a corporate crook. And like Stu could have very easily been the sleazeball.
Very easily.
You have all these characters that could have been sleazeballs, but they're not. And that's what I love is that. And again, it's like I don't want to be drawn away by the kids might find out. I don't want to be drawn away by these potential sleazeballs. I want it to go. I want to be rooting for him constantly, for the most part. And I think when you have this conversation, no, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's ridiculous. He's been on for so long, and it's like when he finally gets that meeting with him, this is my champion moment, and I love it so much.
Well, you're right. They could have. Yeah.
No, I just agree with you wholeheartedly. Yeah, about those characterizations, and you think they're going one way and they go this way. I like that a lot.
At the pool, it starts to go that way. He talks to. He's like, who are the kids you're with?
Yeah.
You mean the forever bachelor slept with 100 million women that just hates kids, never wants to even be around a kid?
Yeah.
And it opens the door for him to be like, I'm just here to take her fucking money, dude.
Yep.
Like your dumbass loser husband. And
These
the door
kids are
was
so
open.
dumb.
And he goes, people can change, man. And he lovingly looks off in the distance. I was like,
But that
holy
little one,
shit.
I'm in love with her.
Natalie,
I
she's
can't
a
wait to
sweetie
raise her.
pie, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
Pierce. But dude, as a kid, then he even like he calls Daniel a loser.
He does.
And you're
so
like,
you think
you're like, whoa, no, he's a bad guy.
As far as he knows,
yeah,
he is
a
loser.
loser.
He is a loser. The guy can't hold a job. He's been taking advantage of his wife and what she's been working on in her career. And as far as he knows, that's exactly
And
who he
even
is.
if he doesn't know, have you ever dated someone and referred to their last boyfriend as like, it was a real nice guy. I met him, real nice guy.
Oh, hey, you know
Great
what?
guy, very, very. Oh man, he's cool.
I had a bigger stream than him for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Pee next to him one time.
Yeah, see, that's
Mine was
why
louder.
you would say that. That's why you would say that. That's why it was. Well, oh, what happened? What's wrong with the dad? Shouldn't he be with it? No. Look, I peed next to the guy. Stream was weak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super weak. He's the guy that like doesn't even want you to hear the stream, so
No.
he kind of hits
He
the
kinda-
side of the
he-
ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hits the non-splatter
Gets it
mat.
all over his pants, but he
Yep.
doesn't care because he doesn't want you to hear his stream.
And there's another
Exactly.
thing, like if you don't create a stream, like it makes me nervous. So I need noise. I need to like be distracted so I can have a good stream. You pee and you get to that like moment where you're like you don't have to push anymore. You know, you want to get to that point.
Look, I peed next to the guy. Doesn't have a big stream. Sure, he's a nice guy, but I'm the better man. That's what it is. I'm not intimidated by him because of his stream.
I really like. Of course, it's like the intro of Pierce Brosnan to Miss Doubtfire, pretty much, right? At this pool scene. No, they've
met in the
interacted.
house.
They
Yeah,
met in
they've
the
interacted.
But,
a few
like,
times.
Oh, I found this on the ground. This is the Mercedes.
Oh, it's
Put
don't
on
you
it.
help
so
me with
good.
this.
It just
You
tears it
drive
right
that?
out.
Oh, shame when that happens.
Oh, darn.
Oh, darn.
But when they get to the pool, he is on the diving board, like conveniently, like majestic body looking
Oh.
man, tan as fuck.
He's got a bead of that water dripping down all the way to his ball throw.
We are attracted to Pierce Brosnan.
God.
That ain't no joke. But like I love the he's like, "Oh, sorry, I was just diving off the Olympic diving board.
Excuse me.
So,
And
good to see you.
I
Miranda, hello."
here's the thing. I had this note of why is he performing this perfect dive? I know it's like a private, like a country club pool, right? It must be like a private
Oh,
thing.
yes. Oh, yes.
It's
like
filled
Caddyshack.
with children and just people, and it's like he's like doing these professional dives. Is this where he practices?
This is where he practices.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Two things that you know from this scene. One, you know that this is a really bad stunt double because most swimmers and divers are completely hairless.
Yes.
Pierce Brosnan has a great chest hair, and when it cuts to the guy diving, no hair. There's just bare chest. So like very bad stunt double. Number two, Miranda loves chest hair.
Yeah, she has to.
She's got a thing.
She's got a thing for chest hair. Daniel, one of the hairiest guys in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Pierce, whew.
Let me say,
Daddy.
Sally Field
Can
is a fucking fox.
you pictured them doing it? Right?
Oh yeah.
Her and Pierce. You just kind of thought to
No,
yourself.
her and Daniel.
I wanna
We
see
them
that.
to get back
Oh,
together.
yeah, totally. Anyways, her and Pierce.
I know he's not Bond yet, but I'd like to see them.
I think they're
Bond.
creating a special bond,
Hey,
and
Zip,
they're
zap, zap.
about to.
zip zap zap.
Am I right?
I'm going to keep pushing this along.
Please
Okay,
do.
guys. Guys, upon critical rewatch, there's such an easy thing here. Like, he agrees to the dinner
Yeah.
with his boss.
Okay.
Then he finds out, oh no, he's invited to dinner with the family at the same place at the same time.
Classic.
Fucking say no. Say no
You
to the
just say no.
family.
Yes.
You literally just go, I'm not going.
Yeah.
I can't go.
My sister died.
I'm leaving.
Do anything.
I have to go back to England for 3 months. I'm so sorry. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you big swinging dick into the restaurant as Daniel and be
duh.
like,
Yes.
"Oh wow, what are you guys doing here? I have a pitch meeting. We're working on a new TV show.
Mr. Lundy, I don't know if you know him. PBS.
Yeah.
Come on.
The
Why is
head.
this such a thing? Like, I don't understand why. I mean, I get it because this is the climax comedic thing of
Yeah.
the movie. We need this, but like, he's not very smart. This
Oh.
is terrifying. Having to do this back and forth.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I hate it.
How could you say no to that little face? You say no. Kid, no. You don't run my life. I'm just a human, and I have my own shit to do. Okay?
Yeah.
I am not coming to your birthday dinner, and it's because of you. That's what you say to that little girl. That's how you say it now.
break her heart.
Listen. You're
Tear her in half.
your brother and sister know, but I'm your dad actually, and I know it's kind of shocking to hear right now, but I'm your dad, and I'm actually working for something to make your life better.
Right.
So fucking listen to me. I'm not coming. I am not coming. Oh, I have a job offer for something I'm very passionate about. I'm gonna fucking go do it.
Because all he does is he gets the job, and boom, he's back in their life.
By the way,
And he's famous.
so
He's
okay.
super famous.
Oh, hey, you know what? What if he did go, and he has a good meeting, and maybe he does get along with Lundy, but they don't come up with a show idea because Mrs. Doubtfire never accidentally sat down at the table.
It still would have been great. It would have been a great show.
It would have been
It
him.
would have been a great show, just him.
You
by
know what?
himself.
Instead of it being the old lady Mrs. Rogers, it would probably have been him replacing Dino Guy and doing
it would
a
have been
great
doing
fun
what
show,
he was
right?
doing
Okay.
when he walked in on him.
Dun 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 dun.
Which also,
Put your hands together, Mr. Jake.
which also he's like, oh, I didn't see you coming. It's like he's been walking towards you for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You didn't see him coming. For fuck's sake.
There was
Dan.
a cool
Please.
moment. It's Shaun. It's so I'm a simplistic plebe. You know, I'm not a film buff. And a lot of times I'm like, oh, I can't believe that was a oneer. You know, like that's how my life is when
Yeah.
it still got me like the take where Mrs. Doubtfire walks in the bathroom, the
Yeah.
woman's bathroom, and she's like, we're brushing her hair, and then he walks out.
Yeah.
And I was like, how did they do that? And then I was like, oh, it was a stunt double.
Which is cool too because
But it's so good. They do it so well.
even with the pots or like the
Yes.
the flaming tits,
Clearly a stunt double.
stunt double, like, but you get away with like
The Flaming Tits, is that a band name?
I
Is
love
that a cover band of the Flaming Lips?
I love
tribute?
that.
Okay.
Now
Love
it
that.
is. Someone start it. But no, like even the makeup is so good you could put it on anybody and probably get away with it, which they do.
True.
And I love that about it, where it's like the Superman kind of thing.
Yes.
That's what's basically what they're doing. Is like he goes in as Clark Kent, comes out as Superman.
Yeah.
You know, it's very good.
Okay,
very
real quick.
seamless.
The Flaming Tits is a Flaming Lips tribute band where everyone dresses up as Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
yes.
Okay, sorry.
I think that's great.
Well, flaming Mrs. Doubtfire, fire tits, yeah,
And they use pyrotechnics in their live show.
yeah.
Duh. And
They-
then the
They
grand
have
finale
They have the
is
flame.
Yeah.
Yeah, blouses. Yeah.
Yep.
This is a great episode.
Man,
We are doing good.
This is
Craig,
great.
are we doing good?
Oh, doing great.
I'm gonna have another beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this whole thing is great. I fucking one of the best jokes I love is that like he's getting wasted doing this, right? He's going back and forth, especially to Mr. Lundy.
Yeah, yeah.
He's drinking scotch with him the whole
I
time.
love that.
Getting wasted, and then he straight up fucking forgets that he's Mrs. Doubtfire and
Yes.
goes to the tables. It's just they ran into some ladies back there, you know. You're Daniel?
Can you imagine that?
That
though?
is so fucking funny, and it's like
It's also frightening.
very much
is.
so. But as a viewer, that's my favorite moment. I think is just he gets so drunk, and he's probably so used to playing this character or like wearing this makeup in the prosthetics and everything. He's just like I forget that it's on sometimes, you know, which
Yeah.
I'm sure probably happened on set. You know,
Oh, absolutely. And I like you say, I do like how he sits on down and he's just talking as Robin Williams.
Yes.
And for it's very disorienting. It really is. It's
and
very
he's, and
disorienting.
he's 8 scotches deep.
Maybe you're
Lundy
just
is.
like a woman.
Yeah.
You think, hey, I got the stretch out of it. Maybe this did actually determine that Lundy might be kind of a sleazeball. Actually.
Yeah.
It sort of did.
Did it kind of do that? Well,
Bring a friend for
I got
me.
the stretch. Hey, she got a friend. Oh, hey, it's the 90s. It's like,
Does she
no.
have is there a third friend? Because I have my friend, the bus driver.
Yeah.
No,
He's
no.
looking for someone
No,
as well.
no. See, you're looking at it too wrong. You got Lundy, you got sleazeball corporate Lundy, who's probably never been married. He's like, yeah, I'm Harvey Weinstein type, you know. But then you got bus driver, who probably lost his long wife of like 45 years, and he's just lonely. He just wants to meet people.
Mr. Lundy's lonely, wants to get his fucking heart on. Wants to get his head between some
So
legs.
I got two things I need to say here real fast because we're gonna do fun little spinoff. Number one, Robin Williams or Daniel could have saved this by simply saying, because the last time we saw him at that table, right, He was going to find a friend for his friend. He could have come back and said,
Mrs. Doubtfire
"Oh,
2.
I'm your friend.
Hi, I'm your friend.
I was the friend that he was referring to." It's like, and then it's like, "Oh no, I'm not gonna do. No, not for me." And
Okay,
he's like,
I'll go bring Daniel back.
Well, darn. Oh, well, I'll just hustle on back, and then it's saved, right? Let's skip to a whole nother dimension where Daniel is so committed to Mrs. Doubtfire that he does end up living with the bus driver. They create a wonderful bond. Everything goes south. He doesn't get the job with Lundy.
The prosthetic won't come off
The
anymore.
prosthetic, he's outed with his family. He's completely ostracized from his family and court ordered to never speak to them again by any means. So instead, in his lonely state, as Mrs. Doubtfire, goes to live with the bus driver.
I love
that. He gets on the bus after all those scotches, and he's vulnerable.
And that's what I'm saying.
That's the Shaun Baker film of this movie. He makes like little progressive movies that are pretty good. You guys wouldn't know, but people out there might know.
Thanks, Sean Pryor,
Maybe
for talking about Shaun Baker.
Derailed it. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Sally Fields?
I like that version. No, yeah.
Reaction
so
on
her
this
reaction,
scene before we move on.
Reaction to this, she goes through like 20 different emotions in like literally one shot.
It's amazing.
and
great.
makes it believable and comedic at the same time.
The whole
she
time.
is so fucking good.
The
Yes.
whole time.
The whole time.
I have to go.
so good.
I have to leave. Like when she is, that is the moment that what you talked about earlier, Sean, the roadblock, the absolute barrier to the train of Robin Williams. Yes. That is exactly the moment.
I mean, Robin Williams is a great actor and a great performer, great comedian, great just character in general. But Sally Field is a fucking thespian.
Is it Fields, plural? Or is
Sally
it Field?
Fields.
I think it's just Field.
Sally. You know what? Can we? Because that's a thing.
I
got
think
you.
I think
Sally
it's
Field.
Field.
Singular Fields.
Yeah.
Okay.
Field.
I was
Singular
wrong.
field.
There's multiple. It's not Fields of Dreams. It's Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
So
All right, final scene, everybody. At their next custody hearing, Daniel demonstrates he has a job and a suitable home, then explains his actions. Unfortunately, the judge is disturbed by his behavior and grants Miranda full custody. The ruling devastates Daniel, and unbeknownst to him, Miranda, as she realizes that he never meant any harm. Daniel has his own TV show as Mrs. Doubtfire, and Miranda agrees to let Daniel back in their lives. Real quick question. Have you seen the horror trailer for this?
Yes, it's amazing.
Dude, I think that's the best of any like false trailer I've ever seen.
Like even on top of the Shining family, like good time trailer.
the great
Yes.
outdoors, The Shining. I don't know if you're listening out there and you've not typed in Mrs. Doubtfire trailer, but it's a horror film. Like it really is. This is a comedy movie, but like my God, we're like seconds away from just pure horror.
It's
in this movie.
It's like a movie where like someone is watching a house and they don't know why there's like weird noises happening everywhere. Like they think it's haunted, but it's actually like a person in the walls. You know?
Yeah.
It's like one of those movies. Like that's fucking horrifying. Like the person you thought you've known is actually
Who is-
somebody else.
yeah.
But you also know them.
Wasn't the I think we've talked about it before. It's like Jordan Peele has mentioned that the difference between horror and comedy is like a very fine line.
It's so
prob-
thin, yeah.
It's the end goal.
Sam Raimi, Evil Dead.
It's literally the end goal, to be with the family or to kill the family. It's like yikes. I love it.
This whole thing wraps up a little too nicely for me, but I do like. I guess originally they wanted them to get back together.
Yeah.
And they tried so hard to shove it into a box and go, yeah, they're gonna get to. And no, I'm so glad that they didn't do that because it doesn't make any sense. Like he's done complete damage to this, but almost to the point where it almost doesn't make sense that she comes around on him. Like he's technically, think about the things he's done. He tried to murder Stu.
Yeah.
He drunkenly tried to murder Stu. He has zero sense of responsibility. He quit his job, like without even thinking about it. He didn't run the petting zoo idea by Miranda against her wishes. He threw the party. He's breaking the law. Like he probably should have gone to jail. after this, like of what he was doing and violating court orders and stuff like that, he tricked them all into basically like telling them their deepest, darkest secrets, not knowing it was him. I find it so hard that she was able to come around on this just because he's got a successful TV show now.
Yeah.
That was the one, as you get to the end of this, it's like, well, this is a little rough.
And there's like the literal aspect of just because he has a TV show now, but then there's also like the underlying of like he's learned, you know, like, and I guess he had to become a completely different person in order to become a better person. But now he has like kind of grown up through Mrs. Doubtfire, and I think she's kind of seeing that, you know.
Yeah,
I think that's how the movie comes across as.
You don't have to dive as deep as I did,
right?
Because it's 100%. You're like, oh yeah, that's why.
Yeah, I think your feeling on it is valid, but like that's how I feel, and it mostly works for me. But I see what you're saying.
For me, it's like the speech at the end in the courtroom. By the way, he's now decided to represent himself.
Yeah,
fuck that lawyer.
Good move.
But it's that speech, you know, and I remember very, very vividly like watching that as a kid and feeling emotional when he says, telling me I can't be with my kids. It's like telling me they have to be without air, you know, like it's just like, that's what it is. And I think that's the moment that Miranda realizes this is why he went to these lengths to be with them. And then I think my only question is how long between this trial and like the Mrs. Doubtfire show?
Yeah.
And like when he shows up at the door.
I love she shows up on set and is like, "Hey, can I talk to you?"
Oh yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, give me a second." And then likely 5 hours goes by getting out of his makeup. They show her again and she's on the couch. She's going, all the lights are off. Even the janitors are gone.
All right, Miranda, what do you want to talk about?
Now I'm ready.
Now I'm ready to talk to you.
Just left her on the hook. Like that's what it feels like, bitch. All right.
You're in my world now, Grandma.
Yeah. See how you wait around all week for just 1 hour? Yeah, it's weird.
I do also really like the interview with the potential. Other babysitters besides Mrs. Doubtfire after they find out. And the girl's like, I don't do bathtubs. I don't do diapers. I don't do reading. And I fucking hate children.
I hate kids.
Basically is what I'm saying.
Give me your money.
I don't want to fucking have anything to do with these children. Goodbye.
Oh. Well, thanks for coming on through.
When do I get paid?
I'm wondering if it's going to bump me into another tax bracket. I just need to know those things. Do you think Stu and Miranda stay together? Because they do not address that whatsoever.
They don't.
I think so.
I wish they would have at least, because it wraps everything up so nicely. And I love how, and we'll talk about it in our final review, but like, we just need one more Stu. We need Stu picking her up for a date when he's at the house to take care of the kids. I need to see that. I don't know why, because they already made it out to be like they're going to be great together.
And I would like to see Daniel and Stu be like, or like Daniel specifically be like, tell Stu like, you're a good guy,
but also do some kind of joke.
Yeah,
they did that.
Kind of right.
Sort of.
I love that. I love that moment of.
Bring her back by midnight.
Yeah.
Whatever. Just give it to me.
I love that moment in the restaurant when it's like when he's like, hey, thanks for the it's like, oh yeah, nobody's right, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. It's like this is too much.
That's right. He might just be gone because this freaked him out too much.
He's like, this is a lot. This is a lot. No, I did want more, and I think it's a pretty emotional end, you know. It's a very emotional ending to have this like monologue from Mrs. Doubtfire over the scene of them basically saying, we are not getting back together, but we want to have joint custody and I want you to be with your dad more. And it's not them all driving off together into the sunset. It's him driving his kids off for an afternoon of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that they made that choice.
Yeah.
Which is pretty progressive, I think, for... This would have normally been when they're like, yeah, everything worked out great.
Yeah.
100%.
And they wanted it to, but they also said they didn't want to relay that message to kids to be like, oh yeah, your kids will get your parents will get back together.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't happen, but sometimes it's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's gonna be all right.
Did you guys see? So after the monologue, there's the little after credit scene.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
So It's actually it's a phone ring. It's a and then it picks up and it's Stu, and Miranda's like, yeah, they're all gone. You can come over now. Didn't you guys see that?
No, you're making this up.
Yeah, I'm making that up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I love that. And then they have
you can come over now.
have
Their
like a
kids are freaking gone.
They have a 10
we
to
can
15 minute long sex scene
Yeah.
at
Now-
the end of the credits of this movie.
Now we
Fuck
all
yes.
get what we really wanted.
Yeah, dude.
Naked Pierce Brosnan.
This,
And Sally Field.
And
Sally
Sally
Field.
Field. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
yep. Creating
I
the
do
bond.
hope that when he got the deal for with Mr. Lundy and Mrs. Doubtfire show that they gave his brother some intellectual property.
Oh yeah.
I think
credit.
I think they brought him on as the makeup.
I would
person
fucking hope
and paid
so.
him well.
Yes.
Yep. They just brought them on him and Jack as the
Yep.
dynamic duo.
Just saying, tag your photographers.
Yeah. Just
Boys,
Yes.
we have dissected this movie with a modernized. Time to give it a modern day rating so we can see where it lands in the echelon of movies we've done. Shaun, what are you thinking, man?
I think that this movie is still really funny. I think that it's a Robin Williams movie, and as Hook is more of a Steven Spielberg movie, you don't really see Robin Williams do Robin Williams in that movie. Maybe sometimes here and there,
Sort of.
but this is like his vehicle for what he can do. And I think he does it one of the best in this movie. I think Sally Field's great. Pierce Brosnan. I think the whole cast is incredible. I love everybody. There's some of it that's a little melodramatic to me. The music I don't really like the soundtrack. Well, I mean, Aerosmith and Howard Shore's score, I'm not really that big of a fan of. It's just it's like way too like hopeful, melodramatic. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's too Parenthood to me.
a little too Full House.
Yes. But I would watch this whenever, probably. I think it's a solid movie. I'm going to give this a 7.4.
7.4 AJ. What about you, man?
I really enjoyed this movie, and over the course of, from the first time I saw it up until now, like my appreciation for it just kept kind of building, and finally getting to watch it again. And this is another movie that we've always talked about that has great layers of comedy, but it actually has some good layers of drama. And this is not the pretty ending that you always seem to get in a movie like this. It's not. The pretty ending would have been they all got back together and they figured it out, and magically they're going to be a family again. And it's not. And I think that's really great. That's a good way that this movie, wrapped up. And I think it's a fairly progressive movie, and we get some of the greatest Robin Williams moments on screen that will ever exist, I think, to be totally real. So that being said, I had a great time revisiting it, and I am going to give this movie an 8.8.
Right on.
8.8.
One last thing for me.
I'm sorry. It's my turn.
Yes,
Yep, please.
I feel
It's
like
Michael's turn.
he's so good as Mrs. Doubtfire in this movie. I feel like I can smell her perfume.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What does she say? You smell like bug spray?
Oh,
Doesn't the little girl
I
say
feel
that?
like
Yeah.
I smell my grandma's perfume
Skin so soft?
when I look at her in this movie. Like
There's a
it's
sense.
so good.
Like when we were looking at houses, like, when it's
Yes.
an old lady's lived there for 50 years. you're like,
Exactly.
there it is.
And now we're happily married. You and I.
She says, "Oh no, it's you age like a good fish. It's always it's like is she talking about her? Never mind.
All right.
Never mind. Go.
I got some deeper final thoughts on this. So like I've never been divorced. I've never had parents or grandparents who've been divorced. I've never dressed like the opposite sex. I'm not gay. I'm not transgender. I'm not qualified to make speeches based on any of those things. Like we've never tried to do that in this show.
Right.
But I have felt sad. I felt unwanted. I've been the reason a relationship has ended. I've wanted to change things about myself. These are universal feelings that we can all relate to. These are broad, deeper underlying things that I think this movie tackles. And I think this movie does a really incredible job of letting us feel those universal emotions, showing the importance of family and that none of us are perfect and never will be, but we do what we have to do to get by and to find happiness and to find love that we all deserve and to feel our best, right? So I'm sure there's some problematic things with this movie in a modern day light, but it was by no means a perfect movie, but I enjoyed that last scene, like really wrapped this in a bow, I think.
It was really nice to go out on his Mrs. Doubtfire character.
It was so good, man.
Yeah.
And so like it's definitely not like one of the best movies I've ever seen, but like I went into it going, oh fuck, 2 hours and 5 minutes. Like I remember thinking that, and then it just flew by.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it slightly above Parenthood because I feel like it's the same movie, but just like it does it better. So I'm gonna give it a 7.42. Executive producer David Gould says, as a child, I would watch this movie with such wonderment. I would laugh and daydream of having such a goofball of a father for my own, or at least a hip hop granny nanny to take me to the water park. But as a father and husband, this feels like a creepy tale and a word of warning. I know I would go through anything to keep my children close to me and a part of my life, but watching this movie for the actual story and not just the comedic antics is slightly disturbing. This man should be in prison or at least a psych ward for his actions. I honestly believe if you removed Aerosmith and added Hans Zimmer, this would be a psychological thriller.
Well played.
Well played. But even with this, I still love this movie. Robin Williams has such a range that it's hard not to be captivated by what he does on screen. I still quote this movie often, and every time I hear Fiddler on the Roof, I picture Robin Williams in drag singing Matchmaker. My modern day rating would be a 7.75. So that takes us to a 7.84 as a group, which is not bad. That's going to actually take us into the number 32 spot, right below American Psycho, right above Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Above, okay.
It is above Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
It's 100%. Below American Psycho, just right in there.
I think that's okay. It makes a lot of sense that those two movies are right next to each other. So, okay.
I would watch those movies any day. But,
double feature?
Oh, yeah.
Triple it up.
We'll get some pie after it.
Get some pie.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thanks for being here. Tune in next week for Caddyshack with special guest Bert, larger-than-life Kreischer.
What?
Was in the studio with us. We're going to do that. It's going to be awesome. Make sure you watch that movie before we go into it. Yeah. And then we got a Patreon voted movie. Our Patreon members, top tier, voted on this movie. We are doing Airheads.
Oh, yes.
Finally.
It's about time.
Yes.
And if you are new to the podcast, go back this time last year. I got two of them for you, The Mummy and Boondock Saints. The Mummy was one of our funnier episodes, strangely enough. But also, Boondock Saints is going to be very important here in the upcoming future. So,
The Mummy is one of the better movies we've ever covered. Fair. So keep that in mind. That movie's a masterpiece.
Well, not really according to... It's number 59 on our list.
Top 100.
Top 100.
Top 60. It's top 59.
Just check it out. It's very good.
Yeah, and don't forget to call us. We have a voicemail, 319-804-9596. Leave us some feedback like today's caller.
What's up, Mike, AJ, Shaun, Confused Breakfast Boys, Diggity Dave, the guy.
Hey, all right.
Driving to work for the first time in 3 months. My LOA is over. And I just want to call and thank you guys for being a sense of normalcy for the past 3 months while my family was going through some craziness. I love joining the Patreon and the Discord and mixing it up with all the awesome fans over there. I'm going to continue to be a patron and enjoy that. But yeah, it was a wild 3 months of sipping Cedar Ridge whiskey, hanging out with my son, and listening to you dudes yak it up. Currently listening to the Clue episode. It's already hilarious, and really making a case for Surf Ninjas on the Patreon vote this month. That has to win, guys. Like we did Cocktail. We don't need another Tom Cruise 80s movie with Days of Thunder. Your guys are gonna do Airheads. That's a given. It's like
it was
Escape from LA or Big Trouble in Little China. Like it's gonna happen. So come on, Surf Ninjas. If you're on Patreon, vote for that. If you're not on Patreon, go sign up. It's only $10 a month, and you can vote for Surf Ninjas. Let's go. Dan dang it.
He's got a point, Patreon members. Like, we put these movies out for you, and like, we were going to get to Airheads anyway.
Yeah.
We were going to get there. But you voted on it, which is understandable because it's going to be a great episode. But you could use those moments to maybe pick the Surf Ninjas or the Airborne. So just keep that in mind moving forward.
Damn dang it, Diggity Dave. Thank you so much for calling in. You are the best and continue to be.
You are the best
around.
We appreciate you giving that shout out to make sure that people will engage and dictate a huge part of this show, which is picking the movies that we do. But Mr. Dave and everyone else, thank you guys so much for listening to the show. Make sure you're following along on the social medias and make sure you're getting at us at Confused Breakfast. Just search for Confused Breakfast anywhere. Make sure you're checking out YouTube because this is such a fun place that we get to hang out and do cool things.
Go to confusedbreakfast.com and hit up our merch store. There's some fun stuff over there. You can get some shirts with our logo on it. You can get some damn dang it stuff. You can get some coffee mugs. You can get some hoodies, probably some hats.
Whatever.
Can we do
pads,
that? Mouse pads. We can do whatever.
Shower curtains.
Shower curtains. You can get some lawnmowers.
Yep.
Confused Breakfast lawnmowers.
You can.
Go to our website as well and see our ratings. See how they stack up to your ratings. See how they stack up to our individual ratings. See how they stack up to the show rating overall. Goodbye. Love you.
And just like Diggity Dave said, patreon.com/Confused Breakfast. That is where you go to support this. If you've been listening to every episode, it's time to pony up.
Come on.
We're coming calling.
Come on.
Yeah, come on.
$10
a month. It really ain't that much. And we have so much to give you when you join that. We are part of Upload Media Group. They produce this show. Our boy Zrag over there running the media, running the audio.
Agro's Reg.
UploadMediaGroup.com here in Cedar Rapids. And we are on the Cloud 10 iHeart Podcast Network. Learn more about that. Cloud10.fm. That's it for us. We're going. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
Let's see it works. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo. But she's greeting.
I know.
She wouldn't say toodaloo because she just came into the room.
Shut up, Shaun.
She had.
I think it's like
AJ.
I think it's like aloha.
It's bye and hi.
Yeah. Mike.